joined?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all the best to everyone.
Yes.
Rajiv sir, good morning, all the best.
Good morning, sir. Thank
Good
you.
morning, Sarji.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, to the Bombay Teachers Training College. Bombay Teachers Training College is a premier institute of teacher education in South Mumbai. It has been re-accredited grade A by NAC and is a constituent college of HSNC University, Mumbai. During this lockdown period, Bombay Teachers Training College has been a leader in organizing a number of webinars of educational value. We had a series on diverse topics, including educational research and ICT tools, yoga, and mental health. Today is one such opportunity for us to organize a webinar on the topic Let's Talk Etiquette with the resource person, Ms. Yogeeta Borkar. Before we start the program, as is the Indian tradition, we will begin with the college prayer. Prayer is the most effective and productive technique of kindling the essential beauty and brilliance inherent in human beings. Prayer builds self-confidence, generate true affection in relationships, and inculcates personal discipline and a true spirit of leadership. Our college prayer is a universal prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukh Bhavet. It means, Om, may all be happy, may all be healthy, may all see auspiciousness, may none suffer. Om, peace be, peace be, peace be. Om Asto Ma Sadgamaya, Tamso Ma Jyotirmaya Gamaya, Mrityor Ma Mritam Gamaya, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This means, Om, lead me from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. Om, peace be, peace be, peace be. I request the technical team to play the college prayer sung by our student Anju Konai.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ असतो मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमया ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you, Anju, for the college prayer. Before we proceed, let us introduce our college to the participants through a college profile prepared by our students, Ritika and team. Ritika, Zubia, and team. The college profile. Thank you for playing the college profile. So, participants, you must have seen that the college has taken a initiative and has been a leader in adopting the digital space, the virtual environment during the lockdown period, and not only webinars on educational topics as well as the lectures that we conducted online. It is also the cultural programs and national days that we celebrated, including the parent teacher meet. In the recent 1 week, we have also conducted the parent teacher meet virtually, which was a grand success, followed by the Independence Day under the banner of HSNC University, organized by Dr. Manisha Tyagi and our wonderful students, putting up a wonderful show, cultural show. As well as the recently, yesterday, we conducted in collaboration a webinar with MMK College on power of music, which was well received by the participants. And today, once again, we are here for the topic, very interesting topic. Let's talk etiquette. There is a saying, you never get a second chance to create your first impression. In the life that we are living today, which is no less than a competitive social world, everyone here wants to succeed, sparkle, and stand out with confidence and a charismatic image. Our desire to connection has become far too dependent on digital technology and less so on human relationships or the human connect that are built on the basis of mannerism, social synchronization, and trust. Though most of us today are strong in our digital connections or digital platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the like. But how many of us are really confident to connect equally well with strangers when you meet them for the first time at a social or professional event? Do you find it difficult or have failed to create that desired positive impact or create that first impression as required at a particular forum? Well, most of us might have been in a similar position at some point of time or the other. Today, to be socially graceful, apart from our technical skills, we also need to refine ourselves with some additional skills, which is developing our interpersonal skills. And a person with knowledge of etiquette will never fail to create that right first impression. To enlighten us, to elucidate this particular area in our personality and one of the most important multiple intelligences, that is the interpersonal skills, we have amongst us a wonderful resource person, a lady who is tough when the time goes tough. She has been giving us, she has accepted this webinar in spite of her personal challenges that she has faced since yesterday evening. To introduce this person, the resource person of today, Miss Yogeeta Borkar, I invite our dear student Arbaz. Over to you, Arbaz. Arbaz, please get connected.
A very good morning to one and all. I, Arbaz Sheikh, would like to thank Dr. Bhagwan Balani sir and Dr. Rajiv Jha sir for giving me the opportunity to present an introduction of our resource person for today, Ms. Yogita Borkar ma'am. She is a science graduate in microbiology, postgraduate diploma in industrial analytical chemistry, overall merit holder first class. She is also a certified lead auditor for ISO 9001:2015, lead auditor for ISO 22000:2008, FSS 22004, also certified for auditing and implementation of ISO 17025:2017. She has also been certified for Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, Train the Trainer, and Soft Skill Coach and Clothes Power, and also been the lead auditor for GMP Pharma audit. Ma'am has a wonderful experience of 25 plus years with multinational companies and have been instrumental through heading departments and spearheading teams in laboratory management, quality assurance audit, and compliance sector. She has also stepped up as an entrepreneur since 2017 with a new venture, Micro Insight, that provides services related to technical microbiology consultancy, third party site audit, technical training, and mentorship to develop soft skills for corporate group workshops and etc. We welcome you, ma'am. I would like to conclude my introduction by quoting: nothing is less important than which fork you use. Etiquette is the science of living. It embraces everything. It is ethics. It is honor. Thank you so much. Over to Rajiv Jha, sir.
Thank you, Arbaz, for the wonderful introduction of the resource person. So, in today's webinar, let us familiarize to few key etiquette tips to carry ourselves with confidence, understand the benefits of etiquette to help us create a positive first impression, so essential for teachers as well as teacher trainees. With this brief introduction of the institution, of the resource person, and the topic, I now take the privilege of handing over the session to the resource person of the day, Miss Yogeeta Borkar. Over to you, Yogeeta.
Thank you. Thank you, Arvaz, for a very wonderful introduction of mine. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. My sincere gratitude to Principal Sir, Dr. Balani, and Dr. Rajiv Jha for giving me this opportunity to connect with you all today with the teaching faculty on this Monday morning through this webinar. I take this opportunity to share my insights on the topic etiquette because I consider this in the today's life as one of the important aspects that each one of a professional or any other person should add to his life, as adding a feather to his resume. So before we jump to the topic directly, I would like to ask you all a question. Since you all are already in a teaching faculty, do you think that education alone can help one? Yes, Rajiv?
Please share your screen. Just a
Sure.
reminder.
Okay. Okay. So is the screen,
Yes, now it is visible.
visible?
Please put it on the slideshow.
Yeah, it is. It will come. There's a slide.
Yes, now we
Is
can see.
there? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So once again, a warm welcome to everyone to this session. Arbaz has already given an introduction of mine, so needless to say anything more. Thank you once again for that. Micro Insight, as he mentioned, is my venture, which is into technical as well as non-technical field. So when I say non-technical, it actually focuses something on the soft skills. So today's topic, etiquette, is one of the key aspects of soft skills. So we will go ahead with it as we go further. As Dr. Rajiv mentioned, let's talk etiquette, and the learning outcomes are going to be these that he has mentioned. Very important aspects in today's life. Now, as I was saying, a question to you all is, do you really think that education alone can help one to succeed in life? Well, the definition of success will differ from person to person. That's fine. But yet, I don't think there is any single person today on this planet who will say, I do not want to succeed in my life. That's not possible. Everyone here wants to succeed in some way or the other, be it in whatever profession he or she is in. So, how do you succeed in life? What are those key elements of those successful people whom we see around us and we get inspired by them. A simple example to get ahead with this topic is, suppose you are into an interview. All candidates who apply for a certain position belong to a similar academic background. More or less the years of experience are also same. So how will the HR team select the best one out of them? So what is the criteria? What are the elements that they look in addition to their technical skills? What is that factor that is required for you to be a little advantageous than the others? So what we have evaluated, it has been evaluated that 15% of our technical skills actually contribute to any success or any cracking a deal, but 80 to 85% of it is contributed by your interpersonal skills, by your behavior. It is something related to the image or the personality that you portray, and that is how the people perceive the image about you, the way you portray to them. Hence, I say ki image or etiquette and the interpersonal skills are very, very important in our life. Knowledge is something that definitely makes ourselves or anyone comfortable. But skills, some additional skills will make the person competent. So with this, I take you all ahead with my today's topic. Let's talk etiquette. So before jumping, I will just be showing some pictures and I want you all to opine with the first and immediate thought that comes to your mind. So let's start with our polling session. This is the first picture in front of you. Three gentlemen are there. Assume that you are looking out for a suitable groom for your sister. Now, the poll question, I think, yes, we can start the polling for this. You have to decide which person you will prefer at a first glance. The choice is single choice.
I request the technical team. Yes, we have the poll question and the participants can answer.
Yes.
To the first question.
First.
I guess the participants are still voting.
Okay.
We will wait for 5 more seconds.
Okay. It's only for the first question. Only the first question.
Technical team, can you display only the first question?
Only the first question. It's okay. We will skip the second one. We will go to the third one later because
Okay.
I think people have already voted. All right.
So can you see the results, madam?
Yes. So everyone has preferred the gentleman A. Okay. Great. Let's move ahead. I think we will skip the second one, or the polling was actually for this. So let's skip the second one. We will go to the question number 3. Okay. Here again, the picture displays 3 gentlemen. Assume that you are looking for a finance advisor and you have to do a good investment. Which finance advisor will you prefer? Question number 3.
Technical team, please display the poll question.
Only the 3. Question number 3.
only question number 3.
Okay. So I think they have. Okay, it's in progress. Okay. So it's still in progress.
Yeah, it is still in progress. Question number 3.
Okay, fine. So here I think it is C, A. Okay. So yes, A or C. Okay. Now we go to our last slide.
Madam,
This is one. Yeah.
Yogeeta ma'am, we are getting inputs that from the YouTube we are getting C as the most favored response.
Okay. So C is the favored person. Huh? Okay. Fine. So we move to this next question, the last one for the polling. The picture display shows an image. What do you think as an immediate thought must be the profession of this person? A quick thought. A, B, C, or D. A wrestler, a tattoo artist, a bodybuilder, or something else.
Participants, please opt for the options for question number 4. What is your immediate thought about his profession?
Okay. Fine. Okay.
Okay, so should I end the polling now?
Yes, I guess, because we have got good response. So I have got the question, the polling results. So for my first question, it was A. The second is again the A. The third is the C, the investor part. And the fourth question, the person, most of them think that he's a tattoo artist. Okay. So fine, I'll close the screen. Now, if I show you this picture, how will you react? This is the same person of the last picture, right? He is a doctor by profession. So could you believe, could you make out that difference? So what did you just do? You formed an image. You formed an impression, an immediate impression about the person just by what? Just by looking at his external appearance. He tried to portray his image in such a way that you got certain impression about him. He might be this, he might be so many things you judged about the person just by looking at his picture. So this is what we call as first impressions, the first immediate impression that is created of a person. So what are exactly these first impressions? First impressions are things, the impression that a stranger forms about you within the first 3 to 30 seconds of meeting you. Yes, that is the span only required for the first impression to be created. If I ask you, do you judge a book by its cover? It's usually said that we should not judge a book by its cover, right? But still, if you go to a bookshop and you want to select a good reading article, how will you select? It's a basic instinct that we go to it. We select a book by the cover page. Then maybe we will turn back and see the pretext of the novel or the story, who is the author, and then you decide to buy or not buy the book. That again is a very simple example of first impression. So do people judge the book by its cover? Yes. More or less, yes. That is a fact. So technically, the first impressions are those which are formed in the first few seconds. It's your image that gets registered in the minds of the people. Now, why an image? Because as you saw these pictures, what did you decide? You decided about what must be his personality, what must be the values in life, what must be his authoritative status in his profession, what is his trustworthiness. Should I invest my fund with him or should I invest with the other person? The trust, you build a trust by just seeing the image, the professionalism, the intelligence, the candidature for a job, whether the person is suitable for this position or not. Believe me, when you go for an interview, the moment the person enters the room, the panelists are observing him, and till the time, just few seconds till he takes his seat, they have already decided 45 to 50% whether they want to hire him or not. The rest of the percentage depends upon the conversations. So that's how your first impressions are important. And definitely it also decides on your competence part. So what is happening basically over here today? People judge you. Whether it's right or wrong, it's your personal opinion. But this is what is happening today. People judge you by your external appearance. So we understood what are the first impressions. Let us now understand why the first impressions are so important. Basically, a little science or a little research about this. Mehrabian's rule, maybe most of you must be familiar to it. Albert Mehrabian is a behavioral scientist and he has a lot of publications on the communication, basically the verbal as well as non-verbal communication. So when we say communication, communication as we understand is a two-way process. But when we communicate to someone, ideally the verbal, that is the words that you're talking, creates only 7% impact. 38% is contributed by the vocal communication. Vocal means how you are speaking, how you are talking, what is your pitch, what is your tone, how is the modulation, what is the volume of your speech. Everything comes under the vocal. And the maximum, that is 55%, is contributed by visuals. So what are these visuals? Everything. Your facial expressions, your body language, your hand gestures, your postures, the way you talk, everything contributes to your visual communication. So you understand, visual communication plays the maximum role in any kind of communication. So that's why we say visual is very important. This example I have taken to, emphasize a little more on the visual part. Everyone, I'm sure, must have seen this movie Drishyam. If you remember that phase of the movie where he is trying to, create those witnesses for him to safeguard him. And he keeps on telling them, याद नहीं आपको मैं वो 2 तारीख को गया था 3 तारीख को वापस आया था. The words are not important. The way he's saying is not important. He's trying to emphasize to each of them, याद है वो 2 तारीख को हम गए थे 3 तारीख को वापस आए थे वो संसद था. The visuals, he's emphasizing on his visual actions. So what is he doing? He's creating that visual impact on their brains and trying to manipulate them, and he succeeds also well in that. So what is all this? Seeing is believing, is somewhat what is true that holds today. So that's why visuals. Now, a little more scientific or little proven facts about this visual impressions. Basic nature of a human memory is considered to be photographic. So when we say, for example, you have been to a social event and you ask a person, remember Mrs. Ahuja? So the person will say, no, I don't remember. That lady who had worn that red chiffon sari, what happened? Now you don't remember anything, but you remember the visual appearance of the lady. So that is what gets registered. The second person could not remember the name. Who is Mrs. Ahuja? Kaun yaar? Then she, oh, that red sari. Oh yeah, yes. So that is how the impact is. Another very, simple example. If I say, how many of you like apple? The fruit, apple. So what will you all start thinking? Oh, apple. Yes, I love red, ripe apple. So I'm sure when I asked you this, most of you must have, imagined a nice red, ripe apple. Did any one of you think about APPLE apple? Did that come to your mind? I doubt it. So that is how it is. Our basic nature, human instincts are such where human memory is more of a photographic type. Another simple example to give. This picture shows a small baby. If you ask the baby to pick up his favorite chocolate from the jar, you don't have to tell him ki you remove this or you remove that. He will go and he will try to fetch the most glittery, the most attractive color that he likes. Even if the chocolate is down in the jar, he will try to fetch it up. Why? These are the basic human instincts. We are wired like this, and that is what we need to understand when we talk about first impression or creating a positive image. So a good impression, mind you, is not just about looking pretty, glamorous, handsome. No, that's not the thing over here. In order to move towards your goals, you must project an image which is very first appropriate. This is very important. Appropriate to your roles, goals, occasions, and the culture that you are staying in or you are working in. It's at most important to take care of the cultural factor. Second is authentic. You have to be an authentic you. Don't try to portray an image of yourself just because, oh my God, this person looks, what personality? I'm also going to do something similar. No, boss, it may not suit you. Try to adapt to those things only that you find you are comfortable and it is suitable to your profession. So that is most important. So when we say first impression, image, etiquette, we don't have to run behind many things. No, just try to adopt what is suitable to you and then try to portray it that way. So what happens? The importance of creating that right first impression. It helps to build a charismatic personality, image. People adore you. People notice you. It exhibits a kind of professionalism, a polished image in front of others. You're admired by others. You are trusted. Believe me, when you are actually portraying the image the way it is suitable to your roles, people take you more seriously. So you're trusted by the colleagues, your clients, your peers, your vendors, and at the same time, it helps to create an executive presence. So these are few benefits of first impression. Now, coming to a very important related topic in our today's life, success. As I said, success can be defined in different way. For me, success may be different. For you, success may be different. But success is the ultimate goal of a person in life, in whatever big or small way. So, how do you succeed in life? You may be actually, exposed to many publications. There are so many articles. There are so many books on, success gyan and everything. All said, well and done. But remember, I would like to share there are only two major factors which actually contribute to your success. So what are they? First is the chance. Chance means opportunity. Once you get the chance, to show your abilities, you should not leave it. And you should try your best to create the appropriate first impression. That's the first thing. Now, after you get the chance, do you sit idle? No. You need to perform as well. So, how will you, excel in your performance? First and the foremost, education. It plays the first role, the importance in our performance. Second is the years of experience. So as you gain more and more experience, you mature in your profession. And third, and equally important thing is your social skills, your interpersonal skills. Now, why this is important? For example, you may be catering, you may be, facing some colleague or maybe your boss or anyone in your professional front who is excellent, brilliant, is really, worth that position. But his interpersonal skills, people just hate to go in front of him. अरे यार उससे बात करने में ना एक टेंशन आ जाता है. That approach, when that comes, that means your performance is not 100%. You have education, you have years of experience, but that social skills, your interpersonal skills, what are interpersonal skills? The way you conduct yourself, the way you interact with people, the way you form your team, how you have your leadership skills, or how you manage to resolve the conflicts. All this is a part of your social or the interpersonal skills. So that is very important, and that is what we are going to focus more upon today. So success, remember, the chance and performance. If Sachin Tendulkar wouldn't have got a chance to be in the team, the rest wouldn't have been seen what we are seeing, and rest is history. So the chance and the opportunity is very important, and don't lose that to create the first impression. So what is all this about? We have now understood more or less many things about the first impression, image, and everything. Now let's talk about etiquette. Etiquette, what we call as shishtachar, is a code of behavior that delineates expectations for social behavior according to our current conventional norms within a society, within a community, or it can be in a professional setup also. Now, just note the word expectations. This word is very important over here. When I say expectations, there is a difference. People should not misunderstand that etiquette is something that is mandatory. वो तो compulsory है. No. Etiquette is the norms. They are the expectations that a society or a certain group expects you to follow. For example, you have a certain meeting today, say at 3 o'clock sharp, and you're supposed to be there, present there. So the rule is the meeting will sharp, it will start at sharp 3 o'clock. But what is the etiquette? Some, unwritten norms or the things that we say. You need to reach at the venue at least 15 to 20 minutes before. You should be ready at the venue. You should be prepared with your homework. You should be aware of the agenda. What are all these things? Do you get this written somewhere कि आज मीटिंग है और ये आना है, ये पहन के आना है, ये करना है? No, that is an etiquette which is expected out of you, that you should be prepared for all this. So that is the difference between a rule and a norm. So your etiquette falls in the norms category and not rules. So when we talk about etiquette in our today's life, there are two main scenarios where we need to, practice etiquette. One is your social etiquettes, which is in the social events or your social forums, that is with your family, your friends, and all that. And second is your business etiquette. So where you are in a business profile. So the difference between that is something like this. Social etiquette or the social graces, what we call, are the skills that are used to interact politely in social situations. It is actually a balanced blend of your mannerism, your etiquette, your attitude that you carry, and the style. Whereas, what is business etiquette? What is that slight difference in that? Business etiquette is all about building relationships with your clients, your vendors, within and outside your organization. It is internal as well as your external, right? So putting together those soft skills which we just, discussed, which provides us with that confidence to handle people and situations with tact, diplomacy, and respect. in the business environment is something what we actually differentiate as business etiquette. So understanding of business etiquette helps you achieve all this. So social graces and business etiquette should go hand in hand together, and you should be able to differentiate as per the forum in which you are placed in. So with this, in very simple words, etiquette is nothing but being comfortable around the people and making people comfortable around you. It should be a two-way process. So that is how you will create a conducive environment around you. Now, this picture of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. I usually give this example because when we talk about interpersonal skills, the social graces and all this, I love to give the example of Mr. Bachchan. We all are familiar to the show KBC. We have seen so many episodes of that. Now, in this show, I'm sure you must have seen Mr. Bachchan interacts with so many kinds of people. They are from different generations, different age groups, different cultural backgrounds, different genders. But have you noticed within 5 minutes, the person who sits in front of him on the hot seat is absolutely comfortable? That is the skill of Mr. Bachchan to make that person feel first comfortable, and then he proceeds with the show or with the questions. And see any episode of that, it is so good, it is so humorous. So that is what I actually try to relate and explain how your interpersonal skills should be. A legendary actor like him, but at the same time he's so open and he sorts of relates to the person who is with him as well as with the audience. So that is the greatest skill of interpersonal skills. Well, moving a little ahead, just to remember, etiquette, I call it as an e-ticket. A ticket to what? The original meaning is a ticket which provides the bearer of the ticket that he is well aware of the rules for admittance behind the closed doors. Now, what are these closed doors? The closed doors is there is some event happening behind the closed doors. It can be a social event, it can be a business event, but each and every person is not invited behind the closed doors. Only those people who are aware of some etiquette, some norms that they need to follow behind the closed doors are only the bearers of this e-ticket. So you can always remember etiquette as an e-ticket. So be the bearer of this ticket. So why etiquette? We have seen so many things, we have seen so many examples, and now we are seeing this picture. So confused by seeing this picture somewhat? Okay. So let me tell you, it's a jungle out there where we are living today or where we are working today. Competition is very strong, and the way we present ourselves is under a very closer examination than before. That is why we have to be a little cautious, a little more aware of all this etiquette. Now, when I say all this etiquette, some people say, come on, Yogeeta, etiquette is not for us. It is something related to image. It is not meant for us. It is meant for the VIPs, the celebrities and all. But if you are also of that opinion, so let me little rectify that opinion of yours. See, the stars, the celebrities and all this, VIPs and all, they are already in limelight. So they are already there and they have gained their fame and everything, okay? We today, the normal common people who are actually struggling in this competition today, whether you like it or not, but it is something like a rat race that we are going through. And we all want to stand out little above the others. It's not something that is wrong, but that is a question of survival. That is why etiquette is also important along with your other factors. Now, all said and done, We know the first impressions. We have got a little idea about the etiquette, the social etiquette, the business etiquette, and everything. Now let us understand some elements of etiquette that will connect you to create that right first impression. So, before we start to the actual tips of the day, remember these four things to create the first impression. This is very important. The A, B, C, and D of your first impression. What are they? A, it stands for your attitude, your approach towards your work, your appearance, your attire, and your actions, your performance. B, it stands for your behavior, your behavioral skills, your interpersonal skills. C, it stands for your communication. As we have seen the communication framework, the pie chart, which I showed you. So it also contributes the verbal and the non-verbal. So both the things are included in the C. And D, which is not, I would say, last. I would say, in fact, today it's the most important one, the digital presence. That is your social handles. You have to be extremely, extremely cautious when you are on your social handles, because that is also creating your impressions with the public out there. And also, another important thing, again, an example of an interview. If any one of you is applying to some certain position, believe it or not, in some firms, they do go back and check your social handles, especially your professional handle like LinkedIn, sometimes like Facebook. They try to, scrutinize some basic things about you. And that also creates an impression about you. So your digital presence is equally important. So the A, B, C, and D is what you should remember for your first impression. And with this D, I would like to add one more D of mine, which is my favorite topic, dining etiquette. Dining etiquette is a very important aspect in business etiquette. So this is more related to the business profiles or the business professionals who are, into more of, setups where they have to attend some business meets, some business lunches. Sometimes even the high profile interviews are conducted in an upscale restaurant and not within the four walls of a conference room. Hence, in that situation, dining etiquette helps you in a big way. So, let's now go into some written and unwritten rules of etiquette as it relates to your social and professional image. So, few tips for the day from my side. Time for a change. The first tip, meet, greet, and treat others. Now, this is a scenario where you are meeting a person, a stranger, for the first time. So your meet, greet, and treat others should be absolutely conducive to the forum. Whether you are in a social or in your business forum, your greeting, your appearance, everything will count in that first glance. So what is this? Nothing but your introduction. So this introduction is nothing but your first appearance, your external appearance, and the way you start your introduction. So apart from this, the proximity, or what you call it as a personal space of a person, is extremely important when you talk about introduction or meeting a person for the first time. In body language, we have a very big subject on the proximity. So there are some spaces which are called, some are personal, some are social, and all that. Personal space is something that is related, just around 2 to 2.5 feet of circumference around you. That is my personal space. That is my space. And I will not like anyone intruding in my personal space. And that is, I think, equally important for each one of us. So we should respect that personal space when we are meeting the person for the first time. So I have shown you two pictures over here. The first one over here is something related to your friends or families. So your proximity or your personal space will differ. But when you are in a business meet or a business meeting, your personal space has to be absolutely professional. So maintaining a distance of around 2.5 to 3 feet or just approximately around that is considered to be okay. So this is your first meet, greet, and treat others with respect. Just a moment. I'm sorry. Okay. Coming to the next day, always have a smiling face. Now you will say, what is so big about it? Yes, it is very important. Having a smiling face creates a different impact. We say that it increases your face value. I'm sure you all have been in professional France and many social events so many times, and you might be knowing at least one person whom you have never seen smiling. And you say, okay, उसको तो कभी मैंने हंसते हुए देखा ही नहीं. Happens. But bring a smile to your face and see how you stand out amongst those other grumpy faces. Third, be sure to maintain a good eye contact. Now, there are two pictures which are showing you a good eye contact. When I say a good eye contact means it has to be a soothing, a very, very soft eye contact. It doesn't mean you need to stare or continuously look at the person. No. Give a nice, soothing eye contact. But the eye contact is very important because that shows your confidence in that forum. It shows that you are not insecure. You are completely confident in the environment that you are in. So be sure to maintain a good eye contact. Now, this is very important. Types of handshakes. Now, before I go and tell you what is the perfect handshake, I will like to show you quickly what are the wrong handshakes. This is called a pull-in handshake. All these handshakes that I'll be showing is something where the one person is trying to overpower you or trying to show his dominance over you. So these are the wrong handshakes or the wrong gestures, the wrong body language, what we call. Second one is a double handshake. Now this two-hand handshake is very popular in politicians. Usually, they try to do this, yes, and they try to show that we are very good buddies. So that is what is now actually is shown by that. The third one is a topper handshake. Now a topper handshake is usually called as a boss handshake because he is the top in the department and he wants to show that, boss, I'm your boss. So that is what is called as a topper handshake. Then this is something called a squeeze in handshake. There are people who actually squeeze your fingers. So that's not the correct way of a handshake. Bone crusher handshake. Now this is also a very, very wrong handshake. You may be strong, you may be powerful, but please don't show that strength in your handshake. And last but the least one is the limp fish handshake. Now this is the most pathetic one. By seeing the picture only, you must have guessed, look at the hand, it is already drained out. All these are the parts or the elements of body language. People who are aware of this topic will immediately understand and guess what type of a person you are. So handshakes also play a very important role in creating the first impression. So what is a proper handshake? Two pictures showing in the proper handshake. Your handshake should be firm but not bone crushing, definitely not. It should last only about 3 seconds, not more than that. maybe you can pump it once or twice from the elbow side and not the full hand. It's not like this. It has to be just this portion and just with one or two pumps. You have to release the handshake even if the introduction continues. For example, I'm meeting a person and I say, hello, Mr. So-and-so, I'm Yogeeta Borkar. Bus, leave the handshake and you can continue with your introduction. And you have to include a good eye contact with the other person as well as a nice smile. So this is what we assume in a business front. What is a proper handshake? Have a firm handshake, be confident, let that confidence pour out in your action. Next tip of the day, business cards. This is a very important aspect which I think more or less every one of us actually carries one of them with us. How do you treat your business card? You have to treat your business card with respect. The business card is giving us small information about yourself. Don't you respect yourself? That business card has to be equally important. So the way you share your business card is also shows how proud you are about your profession. So the first photograph, what you see is wrong. Just removing from your wallet and just, yeah, this is my business card. That's wrong. That's arrogant. You are not respecting. You have to respect it with both the hands, offer it, and that too with a slight bow. This is my business card. So that is how you have to give it, and that is how you have to even receive it. So that is what when we say treat your business cards with respect. But before you do that, first confirm, do you have one with you? Or after you open the wallet, oh, I think I have just I'm running short of my business cards. That's not a good approach. So all these small things matter a lot when you are meeting people for the first time. Is your card in a good shape? Most important, especially for the gents who keep the wallets, in their pockets. So you have to take care that you have those special, covers for the business cards so that they are not crumpled, they are not folded. So see to it that your card is in a good shape. Is your card readily available? The moment you feel that you are going to meet a very important person, you have to be ready with your business card and not keep searching for it later on. So be prepared with all these things well beforehand. And are you presenting it at the appropriate time? There is a time when you need to present the card. It's not that you meet a person and you give the card. It's not always appropriate. So see for the suitable time, see for the situation you are placed in, and then you offer to, give your business card to him. And are you presenting in the appropriate way? That is what we have seen. So treating your business card with respect is also one kind of an business etiquette, which also decides or, it gives an impression about you. Next step is communication. Now we have already, learned something about the communication framework and everything. So we know all those factors, but what we have seen in that, it's not what you say, it's how you say that matters. How you say it is actually creating an impact. So that is what we call as a good communication. When we say ki, it is said ki you just cannot not communicate. You cannot not communicate at any time. Even if I am not talking for a minute or so, yet I am communicating some things to you. How? Maybe by my facial expressions, my eye expressions, by my body language, whether I'm like this, whether I'm interested. All this is connected to the non-verbal communication. So along with your verbal, your non-verbal plays a major role in communication. But in communication, Another aspect is a healthy communication. So regardless of who you are, you will have to communicate throughout your life. And being a good communicator can do a variety of things for you. It can include sharing important information, winning people to your side, building healthy relationships in your family, within your friend circle, and also raising your children. So, communication is a very, very important aspect in our day to day life. But how that communication should be, what we mean by saying a healthy communication, a healthy communication is more towards a positive communication, more towards being more assertive in communication. It's not gossip. Gossip is something you share in someone's ear and it goes one way process and God knows what the end point is. But a good or healthy communication is a two-way process. It has to be that way. And another aspect which I always emphasize in communication, unless it's an elderly person, remember and use people's names. Wherever you are in a forum where you are allowed to take the first names, there are some corporate firms which emphasize on taking the first names. You do remember the people's names and take it. Another social forum or just a day-to-day example I can give you why the remembering of names or taking someone's name and acknowledging is so important. We all love the sound of our name, isn't not? We all love our names. So for example, you go to some restaurant or you go to cafeterias. Nowadays we go to cafeterias or whatever. You see the people who are serving, they usually have a badge. They have a name, badge name, on their uniforms or something. So suppose a person serves you a coffee or whatever on your table. It's a natural instinct. We just say, "Yeah, thank you." Okay, fine, good. But instead, if you say, "Thank you, Ajay," it makes a difference to that person. You have acknowledged his service. You took his name and said thank you. That is very important. So this is one of a very, day-to-day example. A similar aspect is applicable to your business or your professional. If someone has done a good work, appreciate it. Take the name of the person and appreciate it. That gives a different feeling and different satisfaction. You will make the day of the person, bright. So that is what we mean by a healthy communication. Now, coming to the seventh tip, dressing and grooming. Now, we are already familiar to this gentleman, which we just saw in our polling sessions. So we know what is the impact of an image when we see or look at the person for the first time. We all are very well aware of it. So what I want to say by this is dress how you want to be addressed. That is the main, importance of well-dressed person, well-groomed person. That is what we mean by that. If you are in a certain profession, you should look like one. That is what we mean by that. Many interesting slides I have picked up for this part. The roles and goals. Physical appearance of any person actually is the first impression, what we know. You see two photographs in this. The first is of a gentleman who is decently dressed. And from the appearance, what you feel? He must be holding a nice managerial position somewhere. So you got that impression from that. Second picture is of a beautiful lady. She has draped herself in a beautiful sari, and just look at her, the poise, the grace that she is portraying through her dressing, the way she has well groomed herself, and don't miss the smile on her face. So what is all this? You cannot afford to ignore the importance of a good dressing and appropriate grooming in your professional front. These are some other pictures, and this why these pictures I have selected is to show that dressing and everything is not only relevant to formal attire. You can dress extremely graceful. You can look graceful even in our Indian wear. especially because when we today, our faculty is in a teaching profession or a hospitality service or some good sectors like this, where your image actually creates an influence on your children or your people or your clients. There you can have many different ways of portraying yourself gracefully. So that is applicable to your Indian wear as well as your Western wear. So you can adopt it very easily. So these are some pictures, especially for the ladies of the groups today, how you can look very smart, very graceful, as well as authoritative in your Indian wear as well. So when we say about the roles and the goals, you have to look authoritative as well, depending on your position. So another some pictures of our key politicians, our leaders of our country who look absolutely authoritative when they portray themselves. So what do you boil down from this? If you are a boss, you should look like one. So that is the importance of dressing and well grooming. Now comes to my favorite topic, that is dining with style and grace. I have already informed you what are the situations where you might have to face a dining scenario. So in this such scenarios, you have to be, completely confident about everything. The way you conduct, the way you're talking, and simultaneously you are having your food or you're eating with a style or a grace. You should not look confused on the table. Oh my God, what is this? Now, how should I eat this? Ye kisse khao? Ye fork lu ya ye spoon lu? That should not happen with you if you are a person in that kind of profile. So, a few tips about dining etiquette before people judge you. Okay, on to it. So, what is dining etiquette? It is not about the food, it is not about the beverages. What is it all about? It is an art of mannerly business meal. So, this is what we call as the importance of dining etiquette. A very few tips and a quick tips on the dining part. This is a very basic table setting, just for your understanding. The knives, the arrangement of spoons, and everything is mandatory and as per the protocol. So you should be aware कि where are the cutleries placed, how which cutlery you need to use for which kind of meal course. All these things play an important role when you talk about this. Order of placing or order of setting the cutlery is always arranged in the order in which it will be used. For example, if you see the fork and a soup spoon outside, you should understand that your meal course is going to be such that the outside cutlery will be used first. So your cutlery usage will go from outside in. So all these things has some knowledge, some things which are going into the arrangement. So this is what about the dining. It is all about the formal table settings. There are setting protocols. If you go for a very business forum, you just cannot pull a chair and sit anywhere. There are protocols laid down who is going to be sitting where. So that needs to be known to you. Napkin etiquette, correct use of the flatware and the silverware. Your body language with elegant eating should go simultaneously, hand in hand together. You should not get confused. And tipping etiquette. Yes, there is an etiquette for tipping as well. It is equally important, especially when you are the host. So the host always pays off the bills. So at that time, you should know how gracefully you have to pay off the bills. What are the tipping etiquette? How you should tip off the service person. All this comes under the tipping etiquette. So there are many things involved in this beautiful subject, dining etiquette. All basically the do's and the don'ts that can either make or break your deal for the day. So the proficiency in eating different foods should be well aware when you are in certain scenarios. So I would say improve your dining skills and be table smart. Next, I would say very important, tip of, it's an etiquette, but what are these three E's that will always, help you to stand out or, perform well? So the three E's are always in whatever profession you are, be energetic, be excited about the work that you are doing, and be enthusiastic about it. If all these threes are not put together, you may not really be enjoying your work. So try to put these three E's, practice these three E's in your day-to-day life and see the difference that it makes. So the thing is, if you are sick, do not make others sick. So that is the thing that I would like to see. So these are the very, very few, I would say, out of the many, many tips of etiquette that we need to imbibe in ourselves gradually, slowly, however you want it. So let us collate with the tips that we have got familiarized to today. Meet, greet, and treat people with respect. Smile. Maintain a good eye contact. Deliver a proper handshake. Treat your business card with respect. Dress as you want to be addressed. Have a healthy and assertive communication. Enhance your dining skills. And don't forget to practice the three E's. So, the benefits of etiquette are you are being evaluated in some other way in every situation. But if you are aware of these few things about etiquette, it forms a positive impression about you. It adds a credibility, it adds a confidence to your personality. It shows an awareness of certain things that yes, this person is aware of these things or the requirements. In lot of situations, as I said, you may not get the second chance to create that first impression or the right first impression. So, benefits of etiquette, why all these things are important today? We are living and we are working today in a multi-generational, multicultural, different communication and management styles, and a rather a global society. And today, because of all these virtual things, it has become such a small world. We have become so close to each other. We can easily connect from one continent to the other. So, etiquette plays a very significant role in all these things. So, why, when I say different groups of people, it can be your friend circle, your social group, it can be your professional colleagues, or it can be your own family. So all these groups are equally important to us. So practice etiquette so that you are comfortable and everyone is comfortable around you. Along with the know-how of etiquette, we should be socially graceful. So this is what I have been telling on and off in between. So what is the meaning of this? I call this as social synchronicity. What is that? It's a new etiquette of today, which is required to be adapted in some or the other way. It is a good blend of your social graces with your business etiquette that will definitely give you an edge above others. So, all this is going to help you in all these different situations. Whether you are in a meeting, whether you are in a dining scenario, whether you're meeting a person for the first time, or even if you are in a public scenario. So everywhere etiquette has to be followed. So business and social etiquette, business etiquette is not meant to be strictly formal. It's about being kind, considerate, empathetic, and respectful. Empathetic is a very, very important word. Sympathetic is different and empathetic is different. You have to understand the person's feelings by stepping into his or her shoes. Only then you can be genuinely empathetic to a person. Most importantly, have a good blend of your business relationships as well as your people skills, what we call as interpersonal skills. Figure out your comfort, find out your style, and be your authentic you. So don't try to mimic or just try to do something what the others are doing. Try to understand what is your comfort zone, how you are going to be comfortable as well as confident to stand out. And all these factors will help you to set you and your business apart from the competition. So remember, friends, change happens with conscious efforts. Change is not something which happens overnight. It is not sudden and it is not magical either. So it is a gradual process. Get involved into that and try to make some small changes in your lifestyle, in your etiquette, and see how wonderfully your personality turns out to be. If I would like to give you some example of this, well, these are the two pictures. Our favorite cricketer, Mr. Dhoni. So these are the two pictures of some gradual change in his personality. So this does show that yes, there is a difference in the person. The performance is the same, but gradually you need to enhance, you need to evolve in your personal development, also your personal image. It should match with your profession, the position that you are carrying for the country. So that is one. Second example is our Mrs. Nita Ambani. I really appreciate this lady. She's the heiress of today's, I would say, the most richest industrialist of our country. But see the transition in her image, beautifully transformed, and that should be appreciated. It tries to tell you, boss, I am the boss. So that is how it should be. Your image should be conducive to your position, your roles, and your goals in your life. So, summary of all this, what we have discussed: knowledge of social graces and etiquette does not guarantee that all the doors will open, or it does not 100% assure that the achievement of your personal and your career goals will be, absolutely achieved. But it is certain that the door to many of these rooms will likely be closed for those who lack these important skills. So I would suggest be a part of this second group who are these e-ticket bearers. So the thumb rule for today is etiquette is being comfortable around people and making people comfortable around you. That's more important. Whether it's your social or it's your business forum, both the places it is equally important, to practice the etiquette. Now, with this, I leave, or I will just ask you one question. Since we have understood some part of etiquette and everything today, just think about yourself today after the webinar. Do I make people comfortable around me? Think about it and decide. One thing is for sure, we all have these skills a little bit that are inherent in us. But there are some skills or some portion of it that needs to be developed. That is how you evolve. And that is most important. Change is the only constant in life. Keep changing and keep improving. That will definitely help you in the long run. So, with this, do not forget, be a complete package of A, B, C, and D that we discussed and evolve with a charismatic personality. would like to end my session with this small, एक जो कहावत बोलते हैं ना, कुदरत ने हम सबको हीरा ही बनाया है, बस शर्त ये है जो घिसेगा वही चमकेगा. So we all are diamonds, my dear friends. Take some efforts in your life to bring some small changes so that you stand out in that crowd. So thank you so much. With this, I come to an end with my presentation for the day. So on to you, Mr. Rajiv.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for the wonderful session, Ms. Yogeeta. And I can see that there have been many appreciative remarks on the YouTube, as well as very few queries, or I would say there are no queries.
Okay.
Yet I would open this forum for question answers.
Definitely.
First, I will start with the question that I have received from the YouTube, and it is from the participant Kuljit Kaur. She wishes to know, is there a difference between manner and etiquettes? And if yes, what is the difference? Thank you.
Yes. So a good question. Yes, there is a slight difference, what we call it as a fine line between mannerism and etiquette. Mannerism is something that we relate directly to your behavior. We can directly say that your manners are good or bad. They are right or wrong. It is something that you portray from your actions. So that is how we decide a person has a good manner or not. However, etiquette, as I mentioned in my earlier slide, is not directly a rule. It is a norm. It is a code of behavior. It is not directly related to your behavior. It is something that is expected out of your behavioral skills. So that is a very thin line between mannerism and your etiquette. So mannerism directly reflects your behavior. Etiquette is something that is expected, or what we call as a code of behavior that you need to practice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I hope the participants would have got the answer. Are you back?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. There is one more question by a participant, Megha Ghosh, and she wishes to know, how should we appear in front of interviewers during interviews in schools as prospective teachers?
Okay, very good one. As I said, your external appearance plays a very important role as a part of your visual communication. You have to decide 2-3 things when you step out for an interview. It is not only for the teaching faculty, whatever is the position that you're going for. First, understand the role for the day. What is your role? What you want to project today to the panelist? You want to project as a confident, as a knowledgeable person. That should reflect in your dressing. As I said, understand the cultural aspect also of the, wherever you are going for an interview. A cultural aspect can be whether it is a too international background, or it is a more towards a more conventional front. Your appearance will depend upon that, and try to follow the dressing as per the forum. So the role for the day, for your position, what is your goal? You need that position. And third, what are the cultural aspects? So depending upon that, you can adopt either to the formals, that is the Western outfit, or you can adopt to our traditional, that is your Indian wear as well. But take care, I have shown you some pictures, so you can adopt to one of the part where you want to look, whatever is the level of authority you want to portray that day. Dress up as per that. You should not overdo, and you should not lessly dress and give the least importance. Be appropriate, be comfortable, and be authentic. That's more important. So
Thank you for the detailed answer. There is a lot of appreciation. One viewer on the YouTube, Satandeep Pal, mentions, "Thank you BTTC for conducting such an excellent and efficacious session. Thank you,
okay.
ma'am, for your superb execution."
Oh, thank you.
And one more YouTuber viewer has Gorakh Bhagat has mentioned, "The explanation given by the resource person is very easy and simple way how to perform in day-to-day life." There
Okay,
is
thank you. Thanks, Bhagat. Thank you so much.
there is one question by a viewer: Can we use etiquettes in personal life? And for example, is it only for professionals, or for example, the housewife, the home manager? Uh, is it applicable even for her, how to shake hand or how to greet people or how to
Well,
stand? Thank you.
yes, wonderful question. I would say my favorite. So, yes, when I say I conduct soft skill trainings, mind you, it is not only meant for the professionals, the corporate, the education, the students. I also cater to a lot and lot of wonderful housemakers. I deal with them for day to day life, and it is of utmost priority for them as well. A very simple example I would like to extend on this question. There was a lady who had come for some, one-on-one consultancy for some sessions, and she used to say, "Ki, I don't get that kind of respect, from my house. Children don't listen to me. They don't. I feel they don't take me seriously. That's what." I said, "Okay, when you are in your house, what do you usually wear? What is the attire that you adopt?" "Oh, I don't really bother, sometimes in whatever, whatever, normal." I said, "Take care of that as well. You need to show that you are the boss of the house. You are holding a very, very important position as a housemaker. Try to show that kind of image that your children, your husband, your whatever relatives, in-laws will take you little more seriously." Yes, definitely the second part of the question where he said the handshake and everything. Well, each and everything is not applicable in every forum or every scenario, as we know, but you should be aware of all these aspects. You never know which aspect or element of etiquette will be helpful in which scenario. So for housemakers, etiquette and the skills are very, very helpful for their day-to-day life, but it does not include everything like a handshake and everything. No, some things are barred, but most of things are applicable to them, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
Yes.
Um, uh, we are again getting a good appreciation from Mr. Neeraj Jha. A very good session from Ragini Mishra on the YouTube. Very nice
Okay.
and practical knowledge given by the lecturer. And there is one more question which has come up. I'm just reading it from my WhatsApp group. Um,
Okay.
is it rude to mention some rules on etiquette to those who do not look refined on professional front?
Well, it is not rude, no way. If your professional front demands certain etiquette to be followed by everyone, by the faculty, then you need to tell them. There is no rudeness in that, but there is a way of communicating it. If you feel certain person is not really following to the forum etiquette required, there is a way what we discussed like a healthy communication. Try to convince or make him understand the importance and why we are following this, because we are creating a brand image. There is an image of our company which we are trying to portray to the world, and we all individuals, as you know, the employees are the representatives of that company. So we need to equally display or portray ourselves with that expected etiquette or things. So yes, it is not rude, but there is a way of communicating it in a more positive, convincing, and an assertive manner.
I guess the participant would have got the required clarification.
Sure. Yes.
There is one question. Um, the person who has asked me is the vice principal of the college, Dr. Mandeep Kochar, and
Okay.
she wants to know from you. Uh, can you highlight some tips on digital forum interviews for our students?
Digital forum interviews. Okay, so what does this actually relate to? Like, do you want to know what are the etiquette that needs to be followed for the
Right,
digital?
because nowadays we are on the digital forum. So our second year students, those who have just passed last year, they are also appearing, and the present batch also would be required to appear in this scenario
Okay.
of pandemic. All
Yes.
virtual interviews would
Yes.
be held and are
Yes.
being held. So in
Yes.
relation to that,
In relation to that,
thank you.
absolutely. Actually, this is a very important aspect today, since we are in this new normal of this virtual world. Always remember, you do not treat your interview, even if it's on a virtual front, do not underestimate it just because you are not going to be face to face. First, in a visual interview, your this part is going to be the focus of the person. So you have to dress up and groom yourself first, as we said so many times, as per your role and goal. Your first impression on that virtual front is going to be what you portray virtually. Secondly, is your communication skills. How you talk. You have to be a little well versed with how you need to communicate when you are on a digital forum, and also you need to know the technicalities and the glitches that you may be facing in that. You do not want any interruptions in that forum. It's going to be a very important part for you. So be aware of the technical things. Practice some time, to be on a front like this, so that you are not, found to be confused or little, disorganized when you are facing an interview. So I would say, focus on your appearance management, focus on your communication, and third important, focus on your body language. Because when I am also communicating today, I'm sure there are so many gestures by default which are happening, but that is also giving a kind of message to you all, right? So focus on that part. If you are not comfortable with this forum, please practice a bit beforehand to talk in front of, the camera, and see your own video after that, and just try to evaluate whether I look, whether I sound good, whether I'm sounding appropriate to them. I think as going for an interview, these 2 3 factors should suffice.
Thank you for the clarification of that answer. There is a question in house just besides me,
Okay.
and my son, who is studying in class 6, he is also listening to your webinar attentively, as he
Okay.
had already attended your
Yes.
fine dining skills program.
Yes.
He has been taught in social studies civics about stereotyping, and his first question was, is this first impression a stereotype?
Yes.
Probably, I think you
Yes.
can clarify this. Thank
Yes.
you.
So Devam, very good question from your side. Really appreciate for throwing this question. I would say India is a typical stereotypic country. We are people, or we can say we are born and brought up in a culture where we tend to judge person, a stereotypic. Matlab, if you say, if you see a person, wearing certain clothes, you will directly judge him. You will say, oh yeah, ye to bas, she's like this, he's like that. You create that impression. But slowly and gradually, I would suggest we should go little away from this stereotypic, judgments. We it is bound as human, beings, if we will judge a person by his, a stereotypic image. We have those things fixed in our head. It's inbuilt, being Indians. But I would suggest gradually we should be a little apart from it. So just go away from this, stereotypic image. Don't every time judge a person by cover. That is what it is.
Right. There is a question from the Zoom platform, and this is our student council, Melvina D'Souza. She
Okay.
wishes to know, is it necessary to say sir, ma'am after we address our teachers or professors or other person with his or her highest academic title, for example, doctor? Means she wants to ask, again she's reframing her question. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, will it be impolite in case we don't say sir, ma'am when we are addressing our professors as doctor surname, for example, Dr. Jha? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Now this is also very good, Melina. Again, I would put it into the working culture. The culture that you are working in, the work culture that you are working in is first important. You should respect that. That is first priority. So if your working culture demands, it's not a demand, but it is an expectation where you expect to say sir, ma'am. There is no harm in that. Absolutely not. When you are addressing a doctor, my personal suggestion is always address the person by Dr. Jha, or if the first names are allowed, Dr. Rajiv. But do not erase the word doctor. It is a credibility to the person, and we should highly respect that profession. So, yes, I'm not talking about the Mr. and Mrs., but yes, the doctor word stands full respectfully. Always address a doctor with starting by Dr. Jha or Dr. Rajiv, whichever is conducive. Another thing I would tell you, Malina, I have worked with some MNCs also, good international companies, where in our induction process itself, they tell us when we have a second induction with our immediate senior or the higher authority, he told me कि here we do not call sir and madam. You can address me by my first name. So this was around say 12 years back I'm talking about, and I was like, oh my God, how can I do that? But yes, so the working culture is very important, and I would suggest respect that culture first. So adapt to that part. And if you have to say sir, ma'am, no problem, you can go. You have to completely adhere to that. So yes.
Thank you. um, there is one request in the YouTube by a viewer that the person wants a detailed training of etiquettes. So
Okay.
uh, you can
Yes.
provide the information for the same.
Yes, definitely. So as we have just, familiarized with, etiquette is a big topic in which we actually include your social etiquette, your business etiquette. So both the things will be combined in that, and you can have a complete session on this. So all this, in fact, what we have, studied or we have learned or we have familiarized today, I would say it is just the tip of an iceberg. What we have really seen, the actually the whole lot of knowledge and the science and the theory that goes behind each topic is really vast and is underneath. So yes, definitely we can conduct a session on etiquette, which is a very very good topic. It includes several subtopics in that. You can decide whichever you want to select, and you can go for it. It can be a one-on-one consultation as well, just which is customized for that particular customer.
Thank you, Ms. Yogita. May I now ask from the Zoom platform if anyone wishes to ask any questions or clarification? Melvina is the person whose query you answered, and
Yes.
she has said that you have cleared my doubt immensely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Melina.
So, any faculty member wishes to ask any question? One question which I have in my mind, in the
Yes.
meantime, if I don't get any question, then we will
Okay.
proceed further.
Sure.
Um, as teachers, and especially as student teachers, those who are
Hmm.
being trained under us, they
Yes.
have to enter the class for the first time. and they are not regular teachers. So imagine the trauma that they are undergoing mentally.
Yes.
They have to be, they are observed by us, they are observed by the school teachers, and they are observed by so many young eyes. And
Students.
most probably the young eyes know that since there are other persons in the class, so this is a trainee teacher, is a student teacher, is not a full-fledged teacher. So what type of first impression and how she can create a first impression so that the class management is the discipline part is taken care of. And second thing is what type of social etiquettes she needs to display. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. So, Rajiv, I would put it in a way like, first of all, when the person has to manage, that kind of pressure, heavy pressure, a strong homework of the topic is utmost important. When you are well aware of your topic that you are going to talk about, first, it helps you a lot. Second important thing here is your appearance. Now, you do not want to look over authoritative, but at the same time, you want to, sort of have that connect with that young crowd as well. That connection has to happen within, that kind of a lecture, that first lecture. So, the dressing, I would say, has to be such when the person or the trainee teacher enters, they should have a impact. Oh, okay, she is someone, knowledgeable. She is someone who knows what she is going to do. So that kind of authoritativeness has to be there. So when I say all this, first comes the knowledge of what you're going to talk. Second comes your skills. That is how you're going to communicate by your visual, by your verbal, and your non-verbal. But at the same time, I would say they should remember that that connection that needs to happen with them at the first instinct, or not the first, but as the person starts communicating with them, is very important. And thirdly, most important is the person should, understand the stress management. A few things about stress management. He knows that I have to face this situation today anyhow. So why not face it with a little confidence? Whatever is the end result, let me be confident, confident in my topic, confident in my appearance, confident in my communication. All these things, when you decide, you tell your mind and brain, you can manage that stress, or you can minimize that stress to some level, and then see if that is going to make a difference. I think these two, three aspects should make a difference to create a little connect, good connect, and that impression with the students.
That means it's a process which
It's a
involves science
process.
and the art of it,
Of
and
course,
which
it's
they
a
have to
process.
master in the due course of time.
Definitely,
Right.
definitely.
One personal question which I had, um, because there are some inputs which we have received from different resource person time to time, and through our interactions and experiences, but there is still a little confusion. Maybe you can throw light upon it. It is fine for males, like when we somebody says Mr. Jha, Mr. Rajiv, or Mr. Rajiv Jha, it doesn't seem problematic. But when we change the gender, then I think sometimes, like for example, my wife's name is Archana. So if a person is addressing a married woman, so would it be Mrs. Archana, Mrs. Jha, Mrs. Archana Jha, or Mrs. Rajiv Jha? This
Okay.
type of confusion exists. So what is correct? What is
Yes.
desirable? Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So it is not a very thumb rule, but usually what is followed in a right way of communication, especially for the ladies. If you are completely sure of the first notification that yes, she is a married lady, she has a family, you can address the person as Mrs. That is the first thing. Okay. If you are not aware if the lady is married or not, you're meeting for the first time, please do not fall in the hassle. Always address the person Miss. Any lady will like that. So Miss is always favorable. So that is one part. If you are sure, yes, you can address. Now the second part of your question, usually in what you say as a right way of addressing a person If you are meeting a stranger, it is never advisable to take the first name. You're meeting for the first time. The first names are usually taken only with permission, and also only when you know the person very closely. Only then you are allowed. If you know watch some of your Western movies or something like that, I would like to highlight upon this. Just watch very closely. Even the small child going to a school addresses their teacher with name, but how? Miss Shaw, can I talk to Mr. This, the Mr. or Miss and the surname? That is compulsory. The moment they take the first name, even by mistake, oh, did you take his first name? So that is not allowed. So again, it depends. But yes, the ideal way is meeting a stranger for the first time, just address him with the surname with a doctor is first thing. If he is a doctor, please don't ignore that salutation to the person. So Dr. Jha would be ideal. And secondly, Mrs. Jha. So there is no need to, write Mrs. Archana Jha, Mrs. Archana Raj. No, not required. Mrs. Jha, Dr. Jha is good enough. The moment you get more close or little familiarized to the person, yes, you can take, that credibility, or you can, with permission, you can start saying Dr. Rajiv or Mrs. Archana or something like that. But ideally, the best and the safest way, salutation, the correct salutation with the surname. That is perfect.
Thank you so much. I think even this particular question has so many layers of
Yes.
clarification that are required, which
Yes.
we can go on, and I'm sure
Yes.
you would
Sure.
be in a better position to clarify all our
Definitely.
doubts. But probably for that, we will keep a different session, an interactive session.
Maybe.
And for the time being, I suppose the queries have been answered, and all are so happy
Okay.
about being invested their time in your session. They have learned a lot, gained a lot, and to complement to their joy, let me share, with your permission, let me share what we were discussing before
Okay.
the meeting, and that is a photograph of yourself when we both were in the school.
Yes.
So I will just share. I just took time, and
Wow. You could fetch it out.
yeah, I could fetch it out from my album.
Oh,
Yeah, I will just show it on the slideshow.
oh my God.
Yeah, so dear viewers, dear students, dear colleagues, please see that we were very active. Not only we both share science as our specialization at the graduation level, and
Yes.
she was in microbiology, I was in zoology, but we also have other passions which are common. Our schooling has been done in the Saraswati Education Society High School and Junior College, which is at Panchpakadi, Thane West. And this photograph is of the annual day function of the school in February 1984. And
Yes.
it was a dance drama on Bhakt Prahlad. And you can find in this photograph our dear teacher, Parvati
Wow.
Miss, if I'm
Parvati
not
Miss.
wrong,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And the Bhakt Prahlad, the center, the middle artist
That's
is,
me.
yes, that is our resource person of the day, Miss Yogeeta Borkar.
Okay.
And your sir, your teacher is on your left side when you're viewing the screen, and that is as Narsimha, lion man. And on the right side, Yogita, can you remind me the participant's name?
No. Yeah, yeah. He was one, I think, Makrand or someone who
Makrand,
was that.
yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
I do recall.
Yes. Hiranyakashipu, who had become my father.
Hiranyakashipu, the father. And it was a dance drama way back
Yes.
then. And it was very well executed by all of us. And I will show you one more picture. Sorry, Yogita, I had only two pictures of this particular dance drama. It was
Yeah.
way before the WhatsApp and Facebook and
Yes.
mobile
Yes.
cameras and
Absolutely.
computers. And this is myself. This is the time when Bhakt Prahlad prays for Vishnu, and the Narsimha enters
Yes.
from the pillar. So there
Yes.
was a, yeah, there was some decorative item as a pillar
That
which
was
I had to push.
amazingly done by our sir, which actually broke off, and your entry was on the stage. Yes.
Yeah. So these are the memories. As fate would have it,
Wonderful.
the present generation is getting a little glimpse of our times of the 70s and 80s. I now invite our principal, Dr. Bhagwan Balani, to please deliver the presidential remarks. Over to you, Dr. Bhagwan Balani.
Thank you, Dr. Rajiv, sir. And Yogeeta.
Yes, that sounds good.
Yeah, because you seem to be very young and like a daughter to me. So there is no harm in calling you Yogeeta.
Definitely, sir.
Because the kind of proximity that you have created in this session, I can very well say this to you. The reason is that as far as institutional culture is concerned, we have been teaching so many skills to our students: life skills, social skills, technological skills, pedagogical skills. And the entire program of BA, DLED and teacher training, all programs are based on development of the skills. And we need people who can really support us. We are total 9 in numbers. But we need people who can help our student teachers in understanding what this profession demands at large.
Yes.
We cannot do with couple of skills or maybe 4, 5, 6, whatever is there in the curriculum. We have to go beyond that. And today you have extended this scope by very minutely elaborating, illustrating, showing communication skill, verbal skill, non-verbal skills, body language, situational, we can say, many things you have covered in today's presentation. There is a big list. If I go on elaborating, I will be consuming much of your time, everybody's time. But the way you did it was really amazing. With a very simple, clear language, with appropriate illustrations, with a very logical presentation. So I'm very happy about it. And I believe that the message that you had tried to give has gone straight forward towards all the participants. And when I was constantly there listening to each and every word spoken by you, and was constantly reflecting, are there any gaps in our training? What kind of culture do we have? Do we can say, communicate uh, as far as desirable and undesirable behaviors are concerned? So I was constantly reflecting on my part from, and we teachers, we sit together in the staff room.
Right.
Nowadays, we are discussing digitally also.
Okay.
And I was trying to identify what are all those undesirable behaviors that we manifest knowingly or unknowingly with a subconscious mind, and then not respecting one another,
Yes.
and how to eliminate that,
Yes.
how to correct it, probably some errors we might be doing unknowingly. We must do it. I think your sessions will help us to correct all those things.
Definitely.
But if we are very true from our heart, as you said, that you should be a real, a genuine, a person should be there in you. The only thing is that then you add it with the etiquettes, then I think we can call it as Sone Pe Suhaga.
Yes.
But only etiquettes won't help a teacher, a person to communicate. Only etiquettes. Mechanical things are not going to work anymore in the life.
Yes.
You have to be a very true person, a very loving, caring, and have a respect for each and every person that you meet in your life. It's not only, as you have rightly said, that these etiquettes are not only limited to professionals, those are also applicable to the general public also.
Yes.
And you have given a lot of examples from the society. You have given the example of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, why he's popular.
Yes.
Actually, if you look at etiquettes, they make you a true person, like Sachin Tendulkar. why Sachin Tendulkar has been considered as a god of the cricket.
Yes.
Even then, if you compare him with other cricketers that you see, his contemporaries like Brian Lara was there, Ricky Ponting was there, but they were not up to the mark as far as their etiquettes were concerned. They were not respected by the society because they never respected the society.
Exactly.
They might have respected 80%, 90%, but there were certain, we can say, instances where they lost the respect. They were not totally committed to the world of cricket, to the principles. Basically, today you have spoken about the principles of the life. These are not only principles of professional life, but these should be the principles of the life. There should be a true person within us. And I think you have tried your level best to, we can say, show us our own mirror. So you have truly done a wonderful job for all of us. And especially, you have tried to show the pathways to the younger generation, the budding teachers, how to create a right kind of environment in your organization.
Yes.
We say that none of the organizations are perfect.
Yeah.
You will always find some, we can say, gaps in that. But rather than finding the faults, we must try to find the solution of the problem.
Exactly.
And that's what exactly you have emphasized upon.
Right.
So there is a message for our student teachers that now, since they will be there in the professions, and those they will be considered as role models by the younger generation. So if they can refine their persona first, a person within, and then later on they can practice more on these etiquettes, I think they will be the heroes of their students, rather than admiring Amitabh Bachchan or all other actors.
Yes.
They will follow you.
Definitely.
And this is what is the need of the hour. So please keep on refining your skills. Have a true, we can say a true love for your fellow beings, your peers, your colleagues. That is what is the need of the hour, rather than competing. I will say that you mentioned that this is the age of the competition, but nowadays we have started speaking of this is the age of collaboration.
Yeah.
So we need to learn how to collaborate our expertise and the expertise of others, and then work together so that you enhance your abilities and help others to enhance their abilities. So there should be a win-win situation.
Yes, it should be.
So, and then you have also rightly identified, and you have said that there should be competition between you. You have given the example of Nita Ambani and couple of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, that what they were yesterday and what they are today. They are today, yesterday they were intellectuals, but today they are more wise. So gradually they had to move from intelligence to the wisdom. And I think this is the need of the hour. And this is the process, as Dr. Rajiv also mentioned this. This is the process. Situations will be different. Occasions will be different. People will be different. Platform will be different. The only thing is that we need to identify the right time, right people, right etiquettes, right values, and right communication. So thank you, Yogeeta Beta. I'm very happy. BTTC is very happy to have you on this platform. Please be there with us all the time, helping our younger generation to be, we can say, on the forefront, because we are going to create teachers for tomorrow. And yes, and as far as the nation's, we can say, development is concerned, depends upon how qualified and how skillful our teachers are. And I hope that BTTC will keep continue efforts in organizing such, we can say, professional development webinars for our student teachers and for the larger community also. Thank you once again, Yogeeta Beta. Thank you once again, Rajiv sir, for organizing a wonderful webinar and sharing your old memories, your relationship, and your school days. These are all golden moments of our life.
Obviously.
Golden moments. We can never forget those we can say experiences in our life. Please keep sharing all such experiences with all of us. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank
Over to you.
you. Okay.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words and your presidential remarks. It really set the pace for this as a concluding part of this webinar. Ms. Yogita Borkar, you would be glad to know that as an institution also we are evolving and we have matured. It has been more than 50 years of our existence as an
Yes.
institution, established in 1969.
Nice.
And now from this academic year, we are a constituent college of the newly formed HSNC State Cluster University. HSNC is the acronym for Hyderabad Sindh National Collegiate Board,
Okay.
which is a
Okay.
Sindhi Minority Institution
Right.
board, and now we are a state cluster university. So with this, many potential opportunities arises, and which under the leadership, the charismatic leadership of Dr. Bhagwan Balani, we are very sure to escalate and achieve.
Definitely.
We also would like to tell you that as Dr. Balani's philosophy is always to collaborate, sabka saath, right? So it is a collaborative philosophy, and we believe in win-win situation. And we wish to take this collaboration with you and your institution forward with the college, because we
Okay.
have different levels of teacher preparation at the B.Ed, that is for the secondary and higher secondary,
Right.
and we have elementary teacher education, that is the DLED. Also, we have a teacher training program for the early childhood education.
Okay.
So you're most welcome to be a member of our BTTC family.
Sure. It will be an honor, a pleasure for me to be a part of this esteemed organization.
Thank
Truly
you.
humbled.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. However, we cannot conclude without a formal vote of thanks. So I invite our student Nikita Soni to propose the formal vote of thanks. Over to you, Nikita.
A very good afternoon to one and all. No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a formal vote of thanks for today's session. I, Ms. Nikita Soni, on behalf of Bombay Teachers Training College, extends a very hearty gratitude to our resource person for today, Ms. Yogeeta Borkar, ma'am. We thank you, ma'am, for being with us and sparing your valuable time. Your efforts are highly commendable. To briefly sum up, ma'am explained the art of first impressions, concept, elements of social etiquettes, etiquette tips to carry yourself gracefully with confidence, benefits of etiquettes, etc. Now I must mention my deep sense of gratefulness to our honorable principal, Dr. Bhagwan Balani sir, for the relentless efforts towards making this webinar a great one. Also, I would like to mention my profound sense of appreciation to Dr. Rajiv Jha sir for moderating and coordinating the session so very well, and for giving me the opportunity and the encouragement to propose a vote of thanks for today. I would also thank Dr. Raju Talreja ma'am and Dr. Priya Pillai ma'am for being the constant support in technical part, without which it would not have been so easy. Also, a big thank you to Dr. Neelu Verma ma'am for being ready in an emergency as an alternative. Special thanks to the student volunteers, Ms. Sabil Sheikh, Zubia Sheikh, Arbaz Sheikh, Ritika Makhija for working tirelessly behind the scenes. Last but not the least, I also take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks to the BIAB team for the technical assistance. I would also thank the wonderful audience for actively participating and coordinating till the very end. You all have been truly amazing. Thank you so much, and please do not forget to fill the feedback form from the link below. Now, I would like to request all of you to rise for the national anthem. Thank you.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Hello.
Amazing.